Good afternoon, dear listeners. This is Akashvani Kohima, and you are tuning to the station of the region at 100.3 megahertz. This is your host, Tia, in the studio, and I welcome you all once again to our program, Drug Free Nagaland. Yes, this program is an ongoing series, an initiative by the regional news unit, Akashvani Kohima, in collaboration with Police Department and other stakeholders of the state. Dear listeners, this is the 15th episode, and the topic for this program is the family and drug menace. And we have in our studio here, we are truly honored to have in our studio once again Miss Veronica Nriame, Psychiatric social worker, District Mental Health Program, Naga Hospital Authority, Kohima. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us again.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are also truly honored to have in our studio none other than Mr. Chenithung Humtsoe, Chief Functionary, Bethesda Youth Welfare Center, Dimapur. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you.
So, dear listeners, as you all know that this is a bilingual interactive program. So, if you have any question for our experts, for our panelists here in the studio, then you know the number. That is 9436805333. नोचा 36805 333 दे अपनी खान एक को क्वेश्चन थगिले दो आज द एकदम opportunity बाहर से you can write to us by prefixing your message with the code FM space F and do write your name and the location from where you are writing. Dear listeners from Maluri Shamato, Dimapur, Tening, Mon and Twinsang, you are tuned in with me right now at 100.1 megahertz. Listeners from Mocha, it's 101.8 megahertz. Listeners from Peg, 102.1 megahertz. And listeners from Zineboto, you are tuned in with me right now at 101.2 megahertz. We are also available on our digital platform. Yes, you can find us on our app, News on Air app. All you have to do is go to Google Play Store, install the app News on Air, and click on live radio to listen to this program. So, my dear listeners, as the ongoing discussion on drugs has been going on, as I mentioned, and this is a discourse that needs to be taken up, that needs to be given priority. We are here today with two functionaries. We are here today with two workers who have been in the field for so many years, especially with Mr. Chenithung, who has been, I've been told that he has been in the field, he has been working towards combating drug menace in our society for the past 30 years. My first question is to you that please kindly share with us your experience and tell us about your NGO as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Even during my student days, I'm just telling you about my background.
Okay, sure.
I was always interested in social service, especially again young people, seeing young people going in the wrong direction. I felt that I should also do something, of course, against the wishes of my family members. Initially, I was that's why from my college days, we have also along with my brother, we have also formed one NGO called the Welfare Club, Pandri Down, because I'm from Lakhuti village original, but settled in Pandri Down. So we have formed that social work that NGO called the Welfare Club Pandri, and then we have started promoting awareness program on social evils including drugs, drug addiction, alcoholism, and so forth. HIV came later after about a decade. Now, before I fully engaged myself in the social service, I have also got a government job through NBSC as an excise inspector. Very interesting. My first posting was in PEG, but I served only for about 8 months. I resigned and went for my further study. And after I come back, I joined, in the organization which peddles drug addiction and alcoholism. And it was quite interesting because by the time I have I was posted in PEG. The PEG district itself was an alcohol-free zone because the society and the PEG Mother Association, the church are very strong. Mm-hmm. And later than only after some years, the Nagaland government have introduced that Liquor Prohibition Act. No? Mm-hmm. So that was briefly about my association with the organization. I joined as a young coordinator in Bethesda Youth Welfare Center, and perhaps this is the first rehab center even in the entire Northeast India. Of course, Naga Mother said that they have started it first, but then the first rehab center which we started getting grant with the Ministry of Social Justice and Environment was we started getting grant since 1988, and it was formed in 1987. Then we registered in 1988. From the same year, we also started granting grants. So that's why we are in one way very fortunate and proud. Of course, it's a sort of punishment because there are so many social activities, social services, but then battling alcoholism and drug use is one of the most challenging part. Yeah.
So you have been the pioneer, I should say.
Pioneer, truly.
Fighting against this evil, and we are truly happy that you are here with us. Sir, as you have been working in this field for so many years, can you please tell us how the society has been affected over the past 30 years that we have been here, how drug abuse has affected our culture, our society, our social fabric and our structure?
Yeah, that's very unfortunate if we really go through the history. Because initial years, by the mid, 80s, of course, we call it Generation X. I also belong to Generation X. So for my generation itself, see, by mid 80s, early 80s and mid 80s, Nagaland was really, infested with drug addiction. And then, but with due respect that when the first drug addiction came, it was like a status symbol because it started from the elite group. And then before that, we have also heard about addiction, the hippies culture, because only the rich people, then the Westerners, they were having this drug addiction. But soon, unfortunately, our people, our youngsters, those who have sent outside with half groups, with due respect to them, they have come here with that, the social maladies of addiction. Now later on, it was saturated to the rural area. So right now it's very pathetic.
Yeah.
Every family, I should say that almost every family may not be from my immediate family, but my cousins or my family circles were affected. Like that, the entire Naga society was either way affected with drug addiction. By early 90s, it was really very badly affected. And every family, I should say that, maybe 90 or 95 families were, we wouldn't find any family who were not affected, directly or indirectly inflicted by drug addiction.
As they rightly say that when someone gets addicted to drugs, it is not just himself, but the entire social system gets affected. So my question is for Madam here. As we have mentioned, that the whole family structure gets affected and the whole family struggles along with the person himself. How can the family provide support and help the person abstain? Of course, there are medical procedures to be taken, but I think it all starts from the family. So what are the roles that the family, or what are the actions that the family can take to help someone get abstained or
All right.
in the process?
First, I think that in the family, if my brother or my sister is into alcohol or drugs, the thing we need to understand is that suru hua time de tai na choice thage. Moi itu try kuri kina experiment kula munjai. Hoile bi tai khan dependent la stage pungji jaise. Itu na khaila moi thakila na para hoise. If I don't take my body, or that if I stop or if I try to stop, I keep craving for it and it's beyond my control. So when they reach that state, family members have to understand that okay, it is a disease. It's like any other physical illnesses. It's a disease, and they have to support one thing, that understanding that it is a disease. So by then, that removing all those stereotypical attitudes about drug or alcohol or any harmful substances. So that stereotypical attitude of ours has to be removed and accept, okay, I will help my son, I will help my brother, or I will help my sister to come out of it. So that acceptance, understanding, and that this battle, like you mentioned very rightly, that it becomes a family battle, not that person's battle alone. So it is a disease that kills the family's happiness. So that is why what happens is that if I keep trying to deny, it's like a poison. It keeps affecting the family and the family gets worse. That is why seeking treatment. So first thing what I can do, if I come to know that my brother is becoming dependent on alcohol or drugs, first thing is detoxification. Please apni la bacha khan or apni la bacha khan hobi, apni la dada hobi, itu overcome ko karne detoxification first jawala lage tai khan la body itu chemicals to kiteba to ghor ta ekla na para ho jai so taking to the hospital aro under the expert supervision kura hai safest method ase so detoxification kura piche if the family members can bra if they want to take them to rehab centers or prayer centers is their call so these are ways and means for them to rehabilitate in the society again what happens is that mudu khai thagi she dawai khai thagi she kole to life to disabled hoi jai that kind of life to chuli ula na para hoi jai because alcohol or drugs takes control of your life so to help them come out of it that process of helping him getting the right treatment meeting the right professionals and following the procedure is very important so I think that rendering that unconditional love and support is very important what happens is that since there is still stigma in our society when it comes to drugs or alcohol so we have the tendency to hide it denying that okay this is not happening and we are going to take you to the prayer center that is the wrong turn actually to come out and I am not against taking anyone for prayer and I am for that I am a Christian we all have that but I think the thing is that we have to follow the right method so that you and I can save our brothers or our daughters or our son so I think that right method and right step is very important.
I think that is a wonderful message. Sir, you have been in the field, like you have said. You have been fighting against this menace for so many years and trials and errors. So can you please highlight to our listeners what are the things that intention to bal many a times as society, as social organizations or as lack of information or lack of awareness by wrong steps. So areas on where we can improve.
Yeah, it's very interesting question. Aro supplementing to what Veronica have just said, parents can most of parents are ignorant about their children's addiction, and then parents can jani jai the children can no longer hide 3 or 4 years and then one thing is it's a choice but at the same time I've been personally interview more than 5,000 young people now during my last 30 years of association with drug addiction. Now, most of them are dropout students. To peer pressure. No, sometimes it's out of the choice, but peer pressure. Sometimes they're compelled. This is also one area where the power of peer is very powerful. And then one thing is now parents, especially the mothers, okay, because of course with due respect to loving mothers, because nobody wanted to accept that their son or daughter is, by the way, even our girls have started using drugs and alcohol. It's very unfortunate. Ito nimite kitia to parents can jani jai kitia pa to defensive de hoi jai kitia kono ba to aro all up anger, frustration they don't want to accept that. And then many times, like you have said that trial and errors of course from our side, from service provider side also, from the parent side also, because force Korean ani dito amagan rehab center din force Korean and then force Korean ani dito nothing works actually. Ito nimide but before that kiniga taking get Jani boti gana taking motivate gorgana hebo it was simply by praying for them is not going to work. Aro kete to initially itu biji pastor kando apni kando itu satanic work ase na iso special no gora ni mide enaga hoise enaga ase no koi thage of course that is not also not the case but of course we do also believe that prayers also make things possible. It happens but for those who believe those don't believe nothing will happen. Or miracle can also happen, but miracle will not happen to many people. It be and now it parents told ignorant they don't know what to do, and then even initially with due respect that our non-state actors in the 80s and early 90s, our non-state actors they started even rounding up all the drug users can sob thorigana aro marabi marishe aro even dala de dala lagai dishe. So in order to stop them from taking only that will not deter them for to give up drugs. And at the same time, it's very encouraging that after so many trials, because some of our non-state actors, some of they have also started opening a rehab center. And then of course we also visited the center as well with good intention. They have done it, but bullet para holibi angoli kan any kiba kurite holibi it to be people escape even from that under protection kind of thing. And then like again especially in Mokoshung district, with due respect to the hours again, they also call it shiki shiki going up ni awas nagi shiki going na to kahori rakandishna initial drug users kind of tadhi namanile tadhi rakiti shibi only that will not stop them and then keteba dole village council kambara church kambara excommunicate koribo aro bosibara thagibo natibo only it doesn't help them from giving up drugs tadhi bara bolai gana Dimapur hebo Kohima jabo dusra jaga te jabo they started doing the same thing so from my village were free but then in another community they are spreading itu addictive personally tagado itu asete itu nimite it's very unfortunate and then it's like a pandemic where we cannot blame any individuals, but one thing is why young people started taking up this is lack of effective parenting. We are also I'm also a parent but sometimes we don't give time. We don't have time for our children. So that is one area where, and then when we realized it was too late, it don't even one pishi to ekdam tender age to left before they are 18, till 18. It is a pishi crucial stage, but many of our parents we fail to recognize that. And initially in my generation X, itu amakan kancha mini itu nani culture da sido manu kan plan manu aro kono ba posibra ani kana pajakane dar kan logo de sabodisha aro amakan we don't have time for them our parents don't have time for us. And then they were depending on the babysitters, and then babysitters if they're professional bhala salu they be professional noi posibra nahi ase plan bara nahi ase na itu berapi olop amakan Naga mano drug addiction do olop it goes out of hand, out of control.
Bringing parents la intervention is so important because I think we have witnessed in the last few years that the number of drug users, especially when it comes to adolescents and young people, have increased alarmingly. So forcefully try really it is not possible because this is a disease that has to be viewed as a disease. So from your both point of view, I want our listeners also to know that how do parents communicate, how do they talk to kids. It is a very simple thing, but I think there is a disconnect. So how do they bridge that disconnect?
I think moi kan baba ama kan hoshi gole to see Server Kwanishna during their teenage class, starting from class 7-8. Itiang wakan ka mano kan lokate jaigane therapy session jadim de kitya suru hoishe kole to class 7 class 8 time debra try kora suru hoishe. That is the big teenage 13 years 14 years bra suru ajikalila Gen Z's kan. So I think what baba ma kan ki kula pare kole to I think to get interested in their life first. Tai kan kuno gote milia se aro tai kan la friends influence, peer pressure. It's especially during their teenagers life na bishi dangor influence tage. It has a very very big influence and they give so much of importance to peers. Aro that again there are so many other factors. Peer like acceptance, they want to be accepted, they want to have the sense of belonging in khambi hoi jai. But I think as a parent, because that generation itself and we cannot even blame them because they are the now teenagers, now Gen Zs are the byproduct of whatever is happening. Because whether it be alcohol, of course drugs, it has been in our society for the longest time time in memorial tagishe, but now it's getting worse. As you have mentioned, it's very rampant now. So I think me as a parent understanding, okay, it is okay. Moi khan baat khatim de no hilibi moi khan a family de. It is okay to normalize this kind of conversation. For example, moi la bacha lote buhi kena acha itu itya bishi common la thread ekta dora sunflower. To itu sunflower hobby or marijuana hobby kiki khante hoile bi itu khantu moi la bacha itu khantu na chola lage itu khan choila to bishi apni itya choise kole to apni la brain te itu receptor khulishe kole to piche te bon ko na pare. Itu karena ki hole bi itu to apni choise kole to apni la dreams kan apni ki achieve kola munjai to complete sab block ho jai. To itu karena itu kan to na chobi. So that my first one is not getting interested in your life. Kan tai kan la kita pura kan bi kinika jase iku diktar pas na na friends kan kinika ase itu bi ekta ase aro another point moi kwan is na second point to talk in the family dinner table te hobby na hole bi family te family time thakya time de to have this kind of conversation. Transparent conversation. Aro si mo age te mention Quranish na when we ask them itu tu tai khan lamok pra kwala ase moi suru hwa temte inika ho ko na bhavna thakya nai moi inika edik hoi kene moi ulaula na pare kene moi na kha hoise kula moi terki pai jai moi la bodi bra na para ho ja withdrawal symptoms kan bishi thaki jai to tai khan koi thake moi la gau to inika hoi jawo ko na moi bhavna debi nai. That means parents did not teach them that this can happen to their body if they continue taking or if they take or if they start. So itu karena itu kha to biase. I think that open conversation in the family and that correct discipline kutte bacha khan ke correct ko lage kutte loi jabola lage itu khan moi khan to bacha khan ajikali to mo khan pra bishi smart ase te khan la khushi kule dibi. No, you are their parents, you have the right to discipline them. Ajikali makan Gen Z's kan saishe kole to see another thing. Tai kan religious la spiritual la bi bishi lacking ase. So I think as a parent is our duty. Parents kan la duty ase bacha kan ke guide kola. Religious la te hobi, social circles te hobi. In every aspect inika ko lage. I think that foundation. I don't know. Maybe parents are also so busy with many multiple roles, and I don't even blame them. But I think that's where that gap ahijai. So I think bridging that gap is to communicate more, and it is okay to have sometimes uncomfortable conversation about sex life hobby, about drug addicts hobby, because bacha kan ke baba amma kampra na janai she kule to kumpra janai diwo. So I think that is my side.
Yeah, in addition to Taiko Nishina, but only be that only parents can nachanishigo, they're ignorant. Some of them are quite ignorant.
Yeah.
So nachanishigo like to be that. And one thing is like parents, those who are aware, those who are educated, of course their problem is or another dimension. But again, most of the our youngsters are rural based. Parents can hear it na. Itu nimide down there I gonna especially daily wage earners can no ishigule any government job alibi kori thake alibi they are not aware of that, and at the same time especially again Bosima Rokandole itu the awareness to nai aro pacha kan for education, for giving proper education to children. They send them to town like Dimapur, Kohima or district headquarters or division headquarters, no, where there's no family supervision. And like Veronica have said, that is quite it will be quite encouraging if there's a transparent talk within the family over the dinner or something like that, no. But then Bishimano dole to opportunity naido, unfortunately I'm Naga society na. And at the same time again, we are also experiencing third and second and third generation drug addicts or alcoholics. Itu bara to dysfunctional family already, no. Ito nimide to be the society problem as a day. No, we cannot simply blame it to the parents also, but again defective governance system. We are again here. We are to blame the government sometimes because where are the avenue for the youngsters? Those who are now many people. I've argued with so many people that see now it is a highly competitive world. If you don't study hard, you have to be. If you want to become somebody in society, you have to be number one. You have to be a first class student. No, but again, see, those are for the privileged few. But there's 90% of 80% maybe of our population still in the village. No, so for them there is no avenue. There is no opportunity for them to catch up with the rest of the country. But those are born with silver spoon, with the comfort zone. Ito nimite bisi bardole rural student family down there in search of sustenance of employment. Ito can be effect korigana sete. Ito nimite I think this is also becoming quite challenging, and at the same time now again I'm also a little critical about the government prohibiting, induced by the powerful church, of course with due respect to the NPCC and the mothers, Naga mothers. Of course the Naga Mothers Association have pulled out I think of the controversial subject, but then this is also one, they say that it is because of this we have stopped so many street fighting, this and that like that. No, but actually in fact it's not like that. Now for example I'm from Dimapur. Dimapur is technically a tri-state, but on the border 500 kilometers from the main town, 500 meters from the main town is Lahore region. After dinner people can walk down there and you just go and see how Lahore region prosper like any other modern city, modern town, colony. So why? Because of the liquor business. And then in the evening you just go and see, again with due respect to our youngsters, Bishop Bardole Nagalaga Rihobo. Nagalaga youngsters kanopo na. Itu ho nimite ru to be the minus point I said to itu drugs and alcohol can get itu fight korule. Yeah.
Yes. I think that is a great topic. Kwanishna black and white no hoy itu issue na. There are a lot of gray areas. What Veronica said it was also really important that family plays a huge role. But I think what Sir has also put up across is when the parents themselves are not sensitized, how do they educate their children? They themselves are uninformed. So I think,
and sorry to interrupt. Again, to add on, the other tragedy is that parents themselves are dependent on the alcohol or drugs.
As Sir has mentioned,
Yes.
Generationally it's like taken over, like generational trauma. Even parents can alcoholic actually. I think we have witnessed that in our own society. We feel like you have gone through a family system where your family has been through a lot just because your father or your mother have been drug addicts, but unfortunately even into habits kind of acquired korilo at times. So I feel like this is a discussion that needs some practical solution, not Kwanishna, this is right, this is wrong.
It's not about that.
And
May I add?
Sorry. In addition to Dai Kwanishna, for example, to tackle with addiction, it is different models. There are different approaches. So sometimes prayer approaches also there, sometimes medical approaches also there, sometimes social approach just also there. So first thing is going for detoxification. That of course medical doctors can also do, but even in the rehab centers, those are rehab, we have a detoxification unit. But mostly rehab center can do social model to hichulai now. First initial of course some medication will be given, not totally 100% cut off from their addiction, but to in order to minimize their withdrawal. No, ito higana asti ito ang mga social model there and ito nimite. Of course, for detoxification, it's not necessarily to go to hospitals or to the medical doctors alone. And then again, it's we are saying ito do right ase ito do wrong amhang condition ito do nuhay libi kono ba do pela do le chenbi kuri rakhiche from the religious perspective. Aro ito bi kono ba do now again human rights. Human rights it should be a here so the community rights you should be share again as when it comes to HIV. Again, injecting drug users, community rights to PCO like shadow. Of course, rights and responsibility also goes hand in hand. And then mostly harm reduction strategy be thagibo lage, supply reduction strategy thagibo lage na. And supply reduction is of course the duty of the government to address that. Harm reduction activities like of course the church, the NGO, the service provider. No, itu tadi kita betul makan a lot confused ho jai.
But if we look at our society at the current scenario, I think we're doing much better now. We are getting help, and there are many good individuals who work tirelessly to combat this. So I think we are on the right track. And of course, we're speaking about that the worst scenario. Of course, it is the worst scenario. But the good thing is that I started working in Naga Hospital since 2018. So 2018 the the help seeking behavior, it has improved a lot. I can realize this year January 2nd January 3rd duty there were two clients. So I can Christmas time na jaino detox thagishe, and I was very inspired. So I asked them, division to Christmas New Year na jaino thagishe koshule moi Christmas New Year to I thakibo holi moi itu na charishe kole to I might not get to experience again. See, so I think
the whole attitude towards
that's why it is
the whole attitude towards
treatment and getting
treatment has
yes
improved a lot.
It has. So of course there are many who are still denying it, but also there are many who are accepting it. Inya hoy na I can help Bisaria, and I'm always very happy to see that they want to change and they want to come out of it, and they want to start leading a dignified, fruitful and productive life. I think that is very encouraging even for workers like us, because we really want to help our people who are genuinely struggling and to come out. So I think platform like this to make others know. Aro najanya khan kibi sir was saying about, it's very true. Najanya kiman kula mun jalebi najanya ho jai. Holebi kiman ani joki gete kitab na purin thakilebi itu mutu kha dawai kha tu biya se kune jania se. Biya se iman kolebi ho jao. You don't have to go to scientific explanation about this that. So because prevention is always better than cure. Gushya piche na kimman kushish kurle bi itu recovering la journey to lifetime bi hoi jai. Itu karne moi to whenever I get chance to go to school khande jawala pai kole moi bishi bar koi please prana chowi. Amni choi gene dependent hoi gene lifetime rehab jabo detox jabo inika kushish, the cycle becomes endless. Best to prevention. Itu kana na chwa kan hundi na thaki shekole to please bra, whatever circumstances you go through in life, drugs or be alcohol or be is never a solution. It will just start hampering your life step by step.
And there are also some instances that konobado over the years 2-3 years there, within 2-3 years there 20 times rehab se ahana relapse jabo relapse korgina hibo.
Yeah.
Inigana aro again Nagas generally we are so impatient. So एक बार आएगी ना एक हफ्ता होगी थकी ना 1 week 2 weeks 1 month थकी शुरू ला होइसे अमी तो फाल होइसे ना अरो तो पीछे दे अरो अमी तो कोरोना है तो गुरु बोला से suddenly they realize that they are not doing the duty no अरो पीछे impatient होगी ना चाबू को ऐसे अरो relapse is again
part of the recovery
no तो भी एक दास है and then अमी को निशना see because of our tri-state status no it to be it's mockery actually. In fact, Assam sorry to mention about our neighboring Assam. So like entry point like Lahorijan, like then we go to Wukha, then Merabani side, then Mokuchung Moreni, Amguri side, no. Then this side, all these are entry point, no. So Nagaland the tri-state, Assam our neighbors are not tri-state, no. So it will be a lot of government among the government coordination thagile phala se holebi. I think if I am to give an opinion, prohibition is totally a failure in Nagaland. And like alcoholic and drug use can be, nobody wanted the children to become drug addict and alcoholic, but we have to live by what to say, we have to be a good role model, not by action.
We have to lead by example.
Yeah, for example.
We cannot, nijor kode parents can, some, I feel like some parents don't take drugs, will be alcoholic thaki jai. Will be you abuse any form of intoxicants. So it is very difficult for you to be a role model for their kids. So I think this is a good lesson for our own parents also. Just because of the drugs na khai. Itu iklan hoy na. I think to be a good role model to you have to fulfill a lot of criteria. And also on that note, what Madam said is prevention is always better than cure. Will be prevention kuro khane awareness be bishi lage. And can you please highlight on what are the roles and responsibilities our CSOs, civil societies, our churches can take up when it comes to awareness? Because government is doing its own part, but I feel like our churches and our civil societies have a bigger platform. They can reach out to a bigger audience. If you can kindly tell us.
In fact, itu ami poila bra itu hikoi takje whether it is the churches. Because one good thing about Nagaland is we have a very good platform, that is the churches. Because itu ni bida Sunday school debi itu we should start taking drug nagapi itu ini kan itu hoigena. Starting from, of course, what are the things good for health? Like if we could able to take example of some herbs. Itu kan itu nizor body ni bida medicinal value. So lebi itu abuse korile itu tu le addictive ase. Starting from those school kids and Sunday school kids. Itu proper sensitization and then one is I'm also critical about the church body is that yes, they have done quite well with good intention. They have even impressed upon the government to enact the prohibition law. Only after that, what have they done? Church day, of course, soul winning to very important the prime duty of the churches is soul winning. No, life after death is very important, but it be social platform so education should also start from the Sunday school kids, and then again the school education. I think of course it is there in the syllabus in some textbooks. Maybe that may not be enough. That the school must have a class, at least one class, especially for the the evil effects. The negative effect. We should not say evil, but negative effect, the consequences of drug addiction on alcoholism or whatever. It to be consistently loi thakile phalase. Actually, again awareness awareness. Everybody need, all social strata needs awareness. Somebody having a PhD degree doesn't mean that he is aware of drug addiction and alcoholism. It don't need to be continuous. Kori thakibo lage the church de lebi konoba dohe ek par dibar ko ase amakan poila barat bishi gorisho lebi hoise itu kori thakibo na ki ko ase lebi. Now you have given one awareness program to certain group today. After 6 months again another people will come. No, it has to be continuous awareness sensitization program in any platform. Itu kori thakile bishi phal hobe na ki.
Yes, just to add on awareness and acceptance, understanding. I think, I am not speaking against any churches, but moi khan la patient ahina tai khan share kura to moi khan church te 2 saal janai 3 saal janai to church manu khan to moi modu khase dawai khase sob jani ase to moi church chaise kole to suku prabe alak prasai jai. So that I think moi khan bia manu khan ke aro church manu hero bishi welcome karo lage. Let's have that attitude. And see, society itself, there is stigma around alcohol or drug use, and we are openly talking about kinika hoina to combat karo, kinika hoina to stop karo. Holy within our minds, within our family, mukhan to acceptance to suru karo lage. I think when we start from our family, church as a whole, as a family, mukhan pari jai. So that awareness la opporta, that deep understanding and acceptance that okay, I want to help. Not necessary to be only your family members, only church manu kante holi bi. So that acceptance of wanting to help. Aro makan church manu kan only makan any civil organization kan holi bi. Our intention is to help people, but sometimes the stereotypical attitude of ours takes control of whatever we do, our behavior. So we might say something else, but our action might speak otherwise. That kind of attitude, and it's visible. Patient kan ahina share kuri thage mo ekbar duibar jaisele inika hwa to moyaro jawole sorom lagishe. So I think that acceptance and that willingness to welcome someone if they have got lost for 2 years, 3 years, let's welcome them to our church. Let's welcome them to our family. Aro, I think moi kan church can be to say that I think it has improved a lot. Bishi bawoshe pula ki compare kulet now they are allowing us to talk. Church la platform kan be. I have seen itu youth camp, aro itu children's camp kan be tai kan mental health topic kan include kore ase, drugs la kan include kore ase. So there are some churches doing that, and I'm so happy. Aro itu he mokan ajikali that is the need of the hour to talk openly about Sir Kwanishna. May not been talking directly about itu nakabi na binole ki kana nakawala lage itu janay wala lage. Why they shouldn't touch alcohol? Why they shouldn't touch drugs? The consequences what will come with it? Nakabi ekla to that doesn't prove any point.
I think
The
it's
reason.
more tempting also.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we don't explain, just itu nakabi ko to children have the tendency to be more curious. So that beyond that explanation of why they should not take, tai kaishi ko kinika ho jawo the consequences of the consumption of alcohol or drugs. I think that awareness from the church members, church leaders, and I'm not denying they're doing a very good job. I think now the very evident one is our church. They run. I think every week they run the detox camp. So moi kan prevention bi ekta ase next to church members ang kula para to harm reduction. Let's secondary prevention, primary prevention to preventing them. Let's go for secondary prevention. Aro itu kan to church kan prabi iman bhal kam kula pariwo. And I think Sir Pragwanishna church is one of the best platform to do that. So secondary prevention to kia ase kula to before they become dependent. Tai kan ke aro worst state pra prevent korea dependent na wagi the abuse kora tempra tai kan ke moi kan save kuri kine to help them come out of that drugs or alcohol whatever their consumption they are consuming. I think that part is very important, that secondary prevention, and tertiary to of course the hospitals and the rehab centers will take care. Yes,
I think that is a area where we as a society have to explore a lot.
Yes.
Many a times I think reason bishi do relapse bhi hoi jado, loneliness prabi hoy na, ostracization from the society, unable to reintegrate to our social structure bhi hoi jai, to they go back to their old habits. So we have to create an environment where we are welcoming of our own brothers.
We have to, and I think that will have a good impact, especially on someone who is battling through, because see, the thing is, like I said earlier, it's a disease. Tai kan bi ula mun chai lebi itu dawai hobi mudu bi tekhan ke tanni loishido. So it's not easy for them as well. So moi kan inika supportive environment create kurishe kule to bishi bhal. So the thing is apni relapse ko to see tai kan detoxification kuruwo, rehab te jawo, 3 months 6 months bohiwo. Itu institution pra ula piche de he aro they go through phase of depression. Why? Because apni ko anishna reintegrate kuro na pare. Because that was not their life for many years. So moi kan ita society mo ita kwanishna, if we have the supportive environment where when they come back we go and pray with them, we encourage them to come and participate in the church activities, inya hole to I think we can prevent lots of relapses. We can break the cycle of relapse.
And at the same time, the government, of course, Ministry of Social Justice and Environment is supporting the drug rehab centers. They call it IRCA, Integrated Recovery Center for Drug Addicts. Only they are recommending only 1 month, because looking at the statistic number of addiction that is prevalent in our society, itu 1 month he rakile to srakan ge accommodate korbo lage ito nimite beyond 1 month na rakibi ko only I don't think a full person recovery to hoise gole 1 month para to ko kurbo na pare to. And at the same time, forever we cannot also they cannot depend on keep on depending on the institution. No, it to be but it again, Amakan Nagaland it's very few rehab centers. No, I mean many have not survived because working in the rehab center it's really too taxing. Burnout tendency to pishi high as na. Or at the same time support coalition to of course Nagas are very generous in one way. Amakan to natagli kide pa to show of pi Korea sebula. We give donation, no, but most of the donation goes to the church, the civil society, the drug addicts kan alcohol kan logo da hay to kan to kile posa tipo donate korbo ko ase na in one way. But slowly churches are also coming up, and then of course some prayer center. There are so many prayer center. I should say it's a positive sign, but it's also mushrooming, and then a lot of drug users also go to there. But just by prayer will work wonders for some people, but not to everybody.
It is a lifelong struggle.
It is a life.
It becomes
Rehab centers government NGOs they cannot support someone throughout their life.
Yeah.
Of course they are there. So as a society whole of attitude change be more awareness more welcoming, more acceptance, more understanding that will have a positive impact on it. We are going to continue with our very interesting discussion, but as time is also slipping by, let's take a quick commercial. My dear listeners, we will be right back.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but I'll try saying yes. Yes to life and no to things that cut it short, my friend. Life is beautiful and it's a gift for you and me. Yeah, you should know life is worth it. Every time, every moment, I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Say yes to life and no to drugs. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind. Yeah, I know. Sometimes people, they feel low, they need a hero. Falling into drawing deep and don't have pathway. No to drugs and no to anything that's a mistake. Yeah, you should know. Just say no, no. Just say no, no. Every day. Choice is yours. I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Say yes to life and no to drugs. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind. Giving up, say no to drugs. Come on! I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Let's choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with us. We're here for you. Say yes to love. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind.
Welcome back, dear listeners. You are listening to Akashvani Kohima at 103 megahertz. Listeners from Malaysia, Mata, Dimapur, Tening, Mon and Twinsang, you are tuning with me right now at 100.1 megahertz. Listeners from Mocha, it's 101.8. Listeners from Pek, 102.1. And listeners from Ziniboto, it's 101.2 megahertz. As we continue with our program in focus at Drug Free Nagaland, the topic for this afternoon's discussion is the family and drug menace, and in our studio we have Chief Functionary, Bethesda Youth Welfare Center, Dimapur, Mr. Chenithung Humtsoe, and along with him we have in our studio once again Miss Veronica Nriame, Psychiatric Social Worker, District Mental Health Program, Naga Hospital Authority, Kohima. So we have around 9 minutes in our program here. It is indeed something that that cannot be covered in a session, or that cannot be covered as you have already mentioned that you have invested so many years working with it. So sir, if you can kindly highlight on certain areas where as a society we can improve or we can collaborate with different organizations, and that would be a great help for, I think, all of our listeners as well.
I think yes, that is a very pertinent question. Now it is not only the duty of the civil society organization or the NGOs or service provider or the churches per se to tackle this addiction. We have a collaborative effort with all, stakeholders. Now, yes, initially 30 years ago, the pastors, of course, my father is also a reverend, was also a reverend. Into church they find it very difficult to accept the addiction that is existing in the church community because they are not prepared for it. So all of the takang barabi to satanic attitude, satanic kamase nga hoigana iman itu cooperation be nadyan shina takisha. We have had so many opportunity to interact and then debate on so many occasions. To kunuba they started accepting, there's a problem in our church, in our community. Ito hoigana. So now some churches are taking up detox program, rehab program, and that's quite encouraging. I've heard that so many area churches have started doing something good for the society. But from the beginning, I also keep telling them, instead of the church themselves running a rehab center or a program, of course, a continuous improvement program is part of the duty, but they should also either they train professionally the church workers and then give full time. Why not collaborate with some NGOs or CSOs or running this kind of program? Either they sponsor them or support their staff or whatever it may be. We can collaborative and then at the same time now because most of the drug users and alcoholics are dropouts. Of course, there are also so many people in the higher up, high position, even among the responsible person. Alcoholism is very much there in our society. Alcoholics are there. The men they accept. Addiction is also among the young. At one point of time, among the young officers, there was huge percentage of addiction. Nothing to hide now. Only ito animite aro ito kan cohesiveness to tagile palase because now unfortunately it is a society problem, no. It's a common agenda ito. Ito nimida magani if we don't help one another, encourage one another and rectify one another, ito at the end all of us will be a loser. So whether it is church group or whether it is governmental agencies or non-state actors or parents, I think
we should all come together.
We should all
for
come
a common
together.
goal, because at the end of the day, it is our future, it is our children at stake.
True.
Coming back to Madam here, can you please highlight the importance of parents when it comes to mental health? Mental health day. Parents, and I would like to add even the teachers as well, because a huge portion of their life, huge portion of their day, bachahan to school, they time spent great with their teachers and with their educators. So what is the role of the parents and the teachers?
Actually, it's a very, very vast topic, but I'll just try to highlight the main points. Parent la role, baba ama la role ahishe to that support. I get mo kan na as a parent. I think when we become parent, there are certain compromises that need to be made. For an instance, I think at least for the sake of my children, let me stop doing that kind of thing. I think that unconditional support and love and being the very good role model, I think that is one thing.
But not drinking in front of the children.
Not drinking, fighting or quarreling. I think all these things, when we look at our, I don't mean that itu karne he bimar hoise bacha kanali, itu karne he depression te gushishe, itu karne he hoise nabi na holebi, itu kan family la environment thaki jaishe kuletu, they become very vulnerable to develop. So they might be susceptible to certain situations, anxiety or depression, or for that matter, alcohol will be, drugs will be. Itu la environment tay bacha time pra uthishe kuletu is like tay khan ke tanya nishna ase. So I think that it has to be very clear for the parents that for the sake of my children, because it is never a good influence for the children. And ina hoigina nurturing and loving. In every aspect, especially at the formation age, from childhood till adolescent, nurturing and loving. Mo kan kiman busy holibi agete, I think sir highlighted briefly about spending time with the children. Especially mo na developmental age, from childhood till adolescent. Please, nurturing and love is very important. To experience that secure love, attention, that's how you are building them, molding them to become the person they are. Or without that, it becomes incomplete because bacha khan bhi hudai bacha thakile nohoy. After 18 years, 19 years to they can nijor life shuru hoi jabo. So itu karne during that childhood till adolescent, that nurturing love, that protection, secured life, supporting children, itu bishi important ase, and helping them to develop social emotional skills. It's not only about giving poisa ase ha itu poisa dishe as a parent poisa dila hoise inya na hoy. Emotional support, social skills kinika bacha kan ke hikawo, problem hwa time te kinika itu kan moi resilient hoi kina tackle kola pariwo, itu kan so baba ma la upor ase, that to pass down or to help them to adapt certain skills bacha time bra aro nika hoi kina mo agite conditional unconditional love from the parents itu lage to feel that secured. See bacha time bra itu like hoise kole to dangor hwa piche debi it will never feel that void, itu to khali he thaki jai. So nothing can fill that void when they grow big. So that unconditional love ki karne lage chukule to love, security, acceptance, itu the heart of the family ase. So that will help them to develop a good mental health. Aro nika hoi kine please bacha khan la self confidence or self esteem nurture kuribi. Tai khan chuto ita kulibi praise kuribi. Tai khan ke realistic goal set kuribi. Amni ki kurla ta munjai kuribi inya no hoy. Please set your children realistic goals, especially for the teachers. Depending on the capabilities of the students, please set them realistic goals, appreciate them, praise them. Tai khan ki man pare, please don't ever compare your children with other children. Please don't compare your students. Amni inika meste biase inika hobo inya khan hoy. Please treat them with respect, because every students, every children bacha khan sob iki na hobo, kumba kitab te biya hobo, kumba kitab te biya hole to te phal hobo. Nurture and help them grow in the fields where they shine.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think wonderful message from both our sir and madam. I feel like a lot of our listeners learned Kurishe. We will continue with our program again, hopefully in the next episode. We had in our studio today Mr. Chenithung Humtsoe, Chief Functionary, Bethesda Youth Welfare Center, Dimapur. Thank you so much, sir, for coming in. And Miss Veronica Nriame, Psychiatric, Social Welfare, NHAK. So thank you so much both for your wonderful messages and for your wonderful suggestion. It was indeed a very interesting topic, and hopefully we will meet again. With that,
Thank you
we
very
come to
much.
the
Thank you
end
very much for
of our
having me.
program.